3, 2, 1, action. So today, as Joanie presents the EZ10 and we get to see and hear this fabulous instrument, what you'll notice about the EZ10 is it's kind of been one of Lowrey's best values simply because the size is actually the same width, and if it's any larger, I think it's within a smidget, as the Freedom 3s, the EZ4s, all of those 2 keyboard models that are real popular. It's very similar in the cosmetic design. You could see it, the layout is very similar. And let me tell you why that's very significant. Over the years, being 26, 27 years now, what I've noticed about with students is sometimes change is not easy, and especially when you're a newer student. And when someone progresses from one model to the next, we're still learning the hobby in the beginning, but sometimes what they don't want to do is have to relearn how to use the instrument. So one of the neat things about the Lowrey EZ10 is they kept that same overall design. As you can see, the panel, everything's located in the same area. You have the, to the right, you have your melody sounds. To the left on the screen there, you have the rhythm style choices. In the middle, there's setups that you'll probably play. Oh, it even has lights that light up on the letters. That's how I'm able to find my notes so easily. So your ABC lights, you can see go across the top there and the bottom. And you know, I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it's a fact. Sometimes when I'm playing, I don't know about you, Lee, or Fred, every now and then I'm playing a song that I'm comfortable with. I never have to look. And then there's times I have a song that I'm not used to, and I have to glance at my fingers once in a while. Do you have to glance at your fingers once in a while, Lee? Yeah, he's nodding yes. Okay. Well, that's sometimes the case, and it's just nice to know that it's very easy to find the notes. And there's just a plethora of other features and sounds you're going to hear today. So I hope I did a good job introducing the EZ10 for you, Joanie.
Thank you, Robert.
You are spotlighted, and you are ready to go. We have been recording this, so I'll do another 3, 2, 1, action, take 2.
righty.
Yay!
Let me just switch this here for you. There we go. Well, that was called the opener rhythm style. That's on the new Broadway button. And that's a really important style because, you know, we play so many Broadway hits and musicals. As a matter of fact, there's several books that have all hits and musicals and Broadway's on them. And so that's the rhythm of choice to serve that. One of those musical books is number 7, if you're interested and you don't have it, from Hal Leonard. So what I'd like to do today, let me just say the benefit, obviously, of having that opener is for you. The benefit is that you can play a plethora of music that's maybe you don't have. Sometimes we're reduced to only having standards big band available, and that doesn't really fit the source of Broadway musicals too well. So this really opens it up as a benefit for you to be able to play a lot more types of music that most people really love Broadway musicals. So my goal today is to show you how smart this instrument is. The EZ10 is the final instrument in the EZ series. And so all of the other EZ series instruments are contained in the EZ10. You don't lose anything on that. But it's an incredibly smart instrument, and I'm just going to go through and show you a couple of different things that people really love and are important. One of the things that stands out immediately is the ABC lights. I don't know if you can, let me switch this camera because I really want you to see this. So on all the other instruments, this is what the letters look like, if you can see that. I'm trying to get out of your way. And when we get to the EZ10, and you know, we need to be able to see the letters simply because a lot of times we are looking at them to find the notes we're going to play. Well, when I turn on my ABC lights, look how much brighter that is. That's a real big feature and benefit for you and many people that entices them to want to own the EZ10, let alone all the other things it does. So I'm just going to talk about, I wanted to say something about the master volume, which is on the far left, and it's red. The master volume, depending on what you set the master volume at, that overrides your volume pedal, or expression pedal as we call it. And so if you have the master volume at 50% and you push your pedal down to the floor, it's only going to go to 50%. So I just wanted to make a comment about that because I've run into several people who didn't realize that the master on every instrument, the master volume controls it all when it comes to percentage of sounds you can have. It also, the EZ10 is the first one to come not only with a padded bench, but it comes with an open bench, so you can store your music inside the bench, which is a really nice thing. Now, I have some lower, I'm going to move over to the right panel now, and I'm going to turn on the EZ button. And what you're going to hear is the chords playing, and it sounds like this. Okay, so what you heard in the lower section, which is on the right-hand side, underneath the orchestral sounds, what you heard, it was ensemble, which is on, that's a string ensemble, but the more button it was on. And I call the more in, when I don't want to hear a smooth sound on the easy sounds, the more is the plunker. And the plunker, so every time you strike a key, a chord, hear that plunking. Well, when you're learning a song, you don't necessarily want to hear that plunking. So I recommend that you turn off the more button and just have the ensemble. And then it's a very smooth, easy string ensemble sound. So, and I've had several people actually even this week who have come in and said, I didn't know what those buttons did. So
okay, I got it.
I thought I would review it and just let you know that you have an option. You can have any sound in the more button, the sound, the left-hand chords, if you will. I should turn around this way because I can't even see you. So I can sound any sound, or I can have a very smooth ensemble. And when you're learning a song without rhythm, I think that you'll enjoy the ensemble a little bit better. So I just wanted to make a comment about that. So I'm going to go to another style that's new on the EZ10, and it's called Wonderful World, and it's for the song Wonderful World. And I'll tell you, I'm going to make some changes in the sounds that you'll hear, and then I'll tell you what I did when I finish, okay? Here, take a listen. Beautiful sounds, aren't they? Great. I'm going to try to take a look at you now so I can see you as well. Maybe you can still see me. That would be a good thing. So that opens up a whole new world, no pun intended, for a lot of other songs you can say. I mean, the classic is Wonderful World, but we find many, many ballad type instruments that go, many type of ballad songs that go so well with that background. And in our travels, we try to take a little note of what else you can play with some of the rhythm styles so we can make suggestions. But the next thing I'd like to talk about is called style setup. And on the SD, it's called auto setup. And on the Freedom 3 and on the EZ4, you have a style setup button. So what that does is it chooses the perfect instrument for your melody in the right hand. However, if you want to change the sound, which we try to change all the time in songs, because that's what makes it an arrangement, when we can hear different sounds. If we play something all the way through with the same sound, it's not nearly as exciting. So you want to change your sounds, and to change your sounds, if you have to go over to the right hand side of the panel and select a button and then scroll to get to the one that you want, it's time consuming, and so it's kind of interrupting your song and your arrangement and your enjoyment. However, when we get to the EZ10, we have 6 choices, and I think Sean's going to show you the panel a little bit more closely than you might be able to see here. But here's my style setup button. And then I have 5 other buttons. Well, they're all perfect sounds on the upper keyboard and the lower keyboard the lower right split that will go with whatever style you select. So when you select a music style, a rhythm, if you will, then these sounds constantly change to give you what's right for the rhythm that you have. So now, instead of having to go to the right panel and select one of my upper orchestral buttons and then scroll to the sound I want to get to, all I have to do is change my sounds. I can go 1 through 5, or 0 through 5 rather. So you have 6 on the upper keyboard and 6 sounds on the lower split. And that's probably one of the most valuable features that the EZ10 has, because suddenly you don't have to be working and trying to figure out how to find things in buttons, because they're all laid out right in front of you. You reach up and touch a different one. It also has an auto accompaniment. And what that means is that depending on which style setup I choose, it changes the background. So it might add or it may take away sounds. So the background changes a little bit, which is real valuable too, because you're getting, you know, some diversity in what you're playing. But most importantly is I can just reach up and touch one of those buttons and get a totally different sound, and it just makes it so much more friendly. So I'm going to go to another style now. It's called Pop, is the music style button, and I'm going to use it with the full band performer, and it's Pop Shuffle. And you're going to see me, I'm going to use several different sounds that I have here just by reaching up and touching my style setup. So this is going to be Couldn't Live Without Your Love. So you got to see me there, be able to just touch. I use the 0 button, the style setup button first to start out. And then I went from there and chose number 3, which gave me a completely different sound. And then I went to number 5, and it gave me a completely different sound with the brass ensemble at the end. So it makes it so easy. And you can sound like a professional, where we're changing the instruments and the sounds. And all you're having to do is touch one button in front of you and not go looking for sounds. So I think that's a very valuable feature of the EZ10. That the additional rhythm styles that open up your music genre for lots of other styles, when you're not just stuck with a couple of them, but you have many. And the other thing is the lights, of course, that I mentioned. That's very valuable to people. And then, of course, the style setup, that just makes it easy for you. And that's basically has always been Lowrey's goal, no matter which instrument they were building at the time. Their goal was to make it as user-friendly as possible. And through the years, I can tell you, the people who have owned other brands, their one complaint about the brands is they're not user-friendly. They're difficult to figure out. We don't have that issue with the Lowreys and the Estes. They're very user-friendly, and it makes it so that we can enjoy playing and not be working at the technical part of it, if you will. So we have a button that's called the Songs button, and I know most of you are probably familiar with that, but the difference with the EZ10 is that there are 40 songs. It's all the first Lowrey Magic Red Book songs are in there. And what a great value that is for learning. It's like having a teacher in your home, because if you turn on the song and you don't know how to play it and you want to learn how to play the right hand, slowly you can change the tempo and it'll play and you can play along with it. And what that does is if you happen to make a what I would call clunker, you'll hear that your note didn't line up with the song that's being played. Another great thing about the 40 songs is that, let's say you're having a dinner party and you want to have music going in the background. Well, you can put the 40 songs on and it'll play all of what it has and be entertaining as if it's your stereo, if you will. So 40 songs is a great addition to what we already had in the past. And the next feature that's next to it is called Song Setup. Now, Song Setup is invaluable. There's 100 titles in Song Setup for you to select. And you don't have to play that particular song, but let's say you wanted to play Cabaret, but the Song Setup only had Hello Dolly. Well, there's similar songs, so you could do the song setup for that and then go ahead and play a different song. But what it does in its entirety is it sets every single thing up for you. You don't even, it turns on the introduction. You don't have to touch any buttons whatsoever except the first chord to activate the introduction, and then you can just play. So it really eliminates you having to make a lot of decisions as far as what sounds and rhythm styles and what you're going to use. And there's 100 titles in the EZ10, which I think is really, really great. So it gives us a lot of versatility. So I'm going to move on now to another style. This is called, the button is called Pop. And I'm going to use the pianist. And I'm going to go and do, it's a ragtime, if you will. And I'm going to show you a feature that we can put on the EZ10. And that is, you may not be able to see it. I'm going to see if I can move this a little bit. But we have pedals on the EZ10, and a lot of people might say, well, what am I going to do with those pedals? Well, one of the things we can do is we can put the glide on the pedal, because a lot of people struggle with the foot switches. They just don't like the foot switches at all. And when we put the glide on the pedal, now most people tap their foot anyway, so you can just touch any pedal and you get the glide, and that makes it so your music is going to sound more authentic. So I'm going to start with this Pop Pianist, and I'm going to go to the lower right split because it gives me a clarinet, and I'm just going to, you'll hear the glide. Unfortunately, I can't make the camera be able to see my feet and my hands at the same time, but I'm just going to touch any title I want, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. Any pedal I want is going to get me the glide. Here we go. So that's how easy the glide is, to just touch a pedal. And one of the things I get a little sad about is sometimes when I'm working one-on-one with people is they don't really use the glide. They don't like the switch. Well, there's tons of music that uses the glide and makes it be very authentic, including country music, including Hawaiian music, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. Tommy Dorsey's trombone used a glide, the clarinet, the saxophone, the trumpet. So all those instruments, if incorporated with the glide, sound more authentic. And that's why I encourage people to use it. Well, once they find out they can do it by putting it on a pedal, and you just touch any pedal, whatever your shoe hits, it'll make the glide go. And that's a really great thing to make you sound even more authentic in your playing. So I'm going to give you one more example of that. I'm going to go to the mix button, which is also new. And in the mix on full band, we're going to have Aloha, which is super. And I have the glide on my bass pedals. Let me select that again. And so now I'm going to make the Hawaiian music really sound like Hawaiian music, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So keep in mind that the new music styles that we have by button, when you look at it, is ballad, pop, Broadway, and mix. And each one of those gives you 3 more rhythms, because you have the full band performer, so that's 1 rhythm additional. You have the pianist performer, that's the 2nd one. And then you have the guitar. So you're really getting a lot more than you had in the past. And I think we have 36 styles now because of those additional, which just makes your life easier. I mean, when you play, you want to play for fun, and you want to have a good time. And the benefit, like on the glide, is people are using it because they just have to step on a pedal, and they like that. And number 2, it makes the music sound so much more authentic than you wouldn't use it if you really had to do the foot switch a lot, because people seem to struggle with that. So I think that's a really a nice feature. It's always about being user friendly and helping more with making you have fun playing music, liking what you play, playing what you like, and it's just a great instrument. So I want you to keep in mind all the additional features that it has, because it is really a step up. It's the final instrument in the EZ series, but it really gives you features that we have on the very large instruments, still remaining in a small cabinet. On the right-hand side panel, on the upper orchestral buttons, we have 8 of each button. So it says pianos. I don't know if you can see that. Pianos. And then you scroll, and you have 8 different types of pianos. So if you're a person who likes to go find new instruments, you can certainly do that. You have 8 guitars. You have 8 different types of strings. You have 8 different types of woodwinds. You have 8 brass sounds, and then there's a button that says more. Well, the more button gives you 50 additional sounds, and they're in alphabetical order to find. 50 additional sounds. So you're never going to be lost without sounds. And if you're a person who doesn't like to push buttons, then you can just stay within your style setups, because it's a great variety of them. But on the other hand, if you want to experiment and have some fun with some unique and different sounds, you can go up into your orchestral section and select the sounds for yourself. So that's an awful lot of great sounds that we have. And as you can hear, I hope the quality of the sound is good, coming out of here for you if you're listening. But it has a very, very good tone. And one of the things that the people really tell me the benefit for them is that the sound quality is better. The speakers are better, of course, and it provides much better sound for you so you can enjoy what you're hearing. So I think Robert is going to make a couple of comments, and then I'm going to come back and give you one more really fun number that's going to include the Broadway button, but a different performer for you. So, Robert.
Joanie, I missed the last 10 minutes. Can you do the last 10 minutes all over again? Just kidding.
Watch the video.
Oh, I'm going to upload it on YouTube. I'll go watch it later. I better subscribe to that channel. Anyhow, thank you so much, Joanie. We're going to have Joanie do a finale here in just a moment. And we hope you enjoyed the show today and the presentation and all the delightful music and features. You could see it's a pretty phenomenal instrument. Usually when we do an event like this, or occasionally in some of the classes, we give a nice little commercial about some of the sales and things and what we have going on. Today's a little different. I'm not going to give you a commercial on a sale or anything like that. What I am going to tell you though is I didn't realize this, but when I asked Joanie to do this show, the reason why we did it is because we have so many students that are active online in different size categories, like the SD series class that we just recently did, and there's the EZ series, and there's a lot of people that have those fabulous instruments. And so I thought, let's showcase the EZ10. You never know if someone might be interested in it. Well, the problem is when I sent out the email and I told John Riley, the owner, I said, yeah, we're going to get Joanie to show off the EZ10. This would be a great product for a lot of students, or at least something to keep in mind. And he paused, and I was on the phone, and he said, well, how many of those do you actually have, Robert? I said, well, I think we have plenty of them. He said, you might want to take a look again. I just got a printout of all the inventory, and there aren't that many as you think. So I went online, and sure enough, there's less than a handful of EZ10s in their entire company. So here's my sale. Get it while you can. It is a phenomenal instrument. I will have to tell you this, though. When the EZ10 was introduced, and still to this day, what makes it so remarkable is Lowrey did a phenomenal job at getting top-of-the-line features in a small case with a nice, great sound, and obviously all the things that she showed you. So my only encouragement is, if you like and see what you heard today, or if you're ever considering it down the road, the main thing is to keep this in mind. There are less than a handful of these available. I think we only have one in Arizona, and if I read it right on the inventory, there's like 3 in Florida. So there aren't many of these left, and if you're ever considering maybe someday, now's a good time to at least talk to your staff members and your personal assistants. If you have any questions for me, you got my email. I'll be happy to help you with that. And and during these times, we don't just find ways to do all the things we're doing, but we also work with the inventory we got. So it's a great opportunity. So with that said, Joanie Manero will play her finale.
Well, thank you, Robert.
You're welcome.
Yeah, if you are thinking that the instrument is in your future but not now, this is the future. It is now, because once they're gone. As you know, we can't get any more. So this is not the days where we can really procrastinate. So I would say jump on it and get it, because I promise you're going to say, this is so much easier to operate, and it can do so much more for me. So I've turned on my Broadway music style, and I've gone to the guitarist performer, and the rhythm style is called the train. And everybody loves the train, of course, and I'll be using the fill so that I can get the train sound as well. And I hope you enjoy it. And thank you for listening to the presentation. I really appreciate that very much. And I hope you're as excited about the EZ10 as I am, because I just think it's a dynamite instrument. Thanks again. The train.
You're my favorite Joanie Manero ever.
Thank you, Joanie.
Pleasure.
Get with your PAs. EZ10s are slim pickings. We'll talk to you soon.
That's Robert. Robert's saying that.
Oh, yeah, that's me saying that. Go get yourself an EZ10.
Right now.